You ready? You're a week into San Diego? Tell us about it. How do you feel?
Dude, I mean, this is a different kind of environment. I mean, we could be down 6 runs going into the ninth, and they're on every pitch, on making sure the umpire's on his game, fighting back. It's like you're never out of it. And even like the other day, I gave up like a 3-run home run in the first inning to Arenado. And like, dude, they were just pumped. They were ready to go eat the second they got to the dugout. And sure enough, they put up a 5 spot and hit a grand slam.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
We texted right when it happened. He ordered what 50 fucking Chug Buds, which you're a fucking legend for. He got Chug Buds for the whole squad, legendary. But you were saying when we were talking, there it is.
Number with our numbers on them.
I
And everything.
love that. Oh man, yeah, it was. I remember we talked when you first got traded, and you were just like, man, it's feels like I got a whole new energy. Like I already got some brothers here. The vibe of the locker room and the people. It seems like you're really excited and feels like it's a great fit. You look good in that fucking Padres jersey. You look like a San Diego Padre, man.
Dude, it fits. It fits well.
It does.
The brown and yellow fits well.
It fits the aesthetic.
Yeah.
And this is our first time talking really publicly. I'm sorry for the early exit in the Belina Cup. I wish I wanted you. I wanted you to move on. The Trevor dude, like I didn't really understand the dynamic between you and Trevor. Like I know you guys were like teammates and kind of chirped back and forth. You guys were fucking hilarious. Like even on Twitter at one point recently, I was like, are they serious? Are they are they mad at each other?
No, everyone thinks we are like really getting each other's ass. But no, it's all just we both have kind of a dark sense of humor, so I mean, you go for the throat.
Yeah, just kind of chirp each other nonstop. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. He's what do you think about what he's doing? He's in an interesting position the way he, kind of turning kind of the first guy like kind of trying to turn it into like an active vlog where he's like showing what it's really like to be a baseball player. What do you think about it?
I mean, I like it. I like it for the most part. I mean, it seems exhausting. I mean, personally.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I gotta commend him on his work ethic, man.
For
to
sure.
be able to like go out there and pitch the way he's pitching and be putting together this content.
For sure.
But no, I mean, I think this is something the baseball needs. I mean, this is I mean, you look at basketball players and you know everything about them. You know what they wear. You couldn't even name half a baseball team if it wasn't like your hometown team.
I know.
Like a lot of people.
I know. I think it's that's kind of that's exactly what I thought. When I was watching, I was like, God, I can't believe he's actually doing this. But at the same time, it's like it is a service. I mean, he clearly has a passion for it. Like he loves chirping people online and like going viral and saying things that will go viral and doing things, which I get and that's cool. But like I think he's also I definitely think there's a little bit it's a service move to the game too, to like actually try to bring it more to a relative thing, like where kids are interested in it. You know what I mean? Like this is the age of vlogging and understanding shit and seeing it right into people's lives in order to be connected and be a fan and be a supporter. So it's like, if baseball doesn't adapt to that, then, you'll see the slide, like you said, where people like the next generation, like they're not really that invested because they're not fully involved. Like they're fully involved in every artist they like. They're involved in their life. They get to see what they fucking ate. They get to see where they went last night. They see what they're doing in the studio. You're like, yo, I'm part of this guy's life. Like, you know what I mean? And it creates that bond where like you really, I mean, sports is one thing. You're always going to have people love sports and they're drawn to the team and the support, but it really does feel like it could be breaking down some walls for baseball, which I think it's a cool thing. And I think he's a good guy for it because he's like,
yeah.
Like it fits his personality and he can be an asshole and it's like, it's kind of
just it needs that uncensored, like, that kind of genuineness to it because it's so out there that it's like
right.
Just him being him.
But yeah, man, we had you on the pod to talk. You were very outspoken about the Astros stuff and just kind of the baseball stuff, the cheating stuff, and I had you on. But I really wanted to, I'm getting to know you more. I really wanted to share, you to share a bit more of your trajectory here and your story. It's really fucking interesting. I know it just from talking with you back and forth, but love to know kind of what made you the way you are. You're an interesting dude, very rare in the realm of baseball. Like you are I know tons of baseball guys, and you're definitely an outlier in the kind of some of the things you think and the way you rock. But I'd love to just give us a little nutshell, like, you can go at your own pace, but a little nutshell of like growing up and just kind of what made you like what the steps were to get you to where you are now.
I mean, I think it's just a combination of really being cultured. Like I got, whether it was dumb luck or good luck. I mean, I had a lot of time, just kind of on my own, even growing up, just always skateboarding around, staying at buddy's house, couch surfing, just like, kind of maybe partying too much. But I think part of that led me to like the path that I was on, where I was initially supposed to be like a D1, prospect to go somewhere. And then I was skipping school, partying, got in some dumb trouble, and then ended up at the Citadel, which is still D1. They got me in there because I had pretty good SAT scores, so I was smart. I just wasn't showing up.
Yeah.
And then I think, dude, I had to spend a year and a half at one of the most prestigious military institutions in the country. And I'm talking about like bald head first year. You're called a knob, so you have a completely bald head. I had to like fold my uniforms a certain way. Had a military crease them 3 in the back, a cadet book apart. Put them in my drawers had to be set up for inspection, not even hold the shit I was wearing.
Wow.
Dude, I had to remember like all the cadet book, our creed, all these different wars. And if they asked you at any point in time, you didn't get it right, it was a class set of push-ups and shit, like 113 kids in our class, and usually probably graduate with like 60 to 70.
Wow.
Class, bro.
How old were you at this time?
18. This is first year of college. And then, dude, the minimum hours I was like could take was like 18 hours. I was taking like 21 or 22 hours my first semester of college.
So
there while trying to do all this shit.
So you went from like being a dude who didn't even really want to be like the discipline to like go to school every day in high school was becoming difficult. So you go right from that to the polar opposite extreme of that.
Yeah, to where you get expelled if you get 3 absences in a class that excuse, you're expelled for at least a semester minimum. And if you get caught lying, cheating, or stealing, like any of those 3, and it's even just word of mouth, you'll go through a trial by your peers, and then you get kicked out completely if you're proven guilty. So if you're like took your buddy's pen and he was just pissed off that day and was like, yo, he stole my pen, he didn't ask for that shit, and you have proof, you could get expelled and never can come back to the Citadel.
Wow.
It's like part of their like prestige. Yeah, it was.
Wow. I was oblivious to this.
Dude, yeah, you go through your first year just getting shit on, and you just gotta like wear it because it's supposed to be like the humbling process, bro. And I wasn't wearing it well, so I mean, I got to the point where I just was gonna have to go on a military trial my sophomore year. They're talking about suspending me for a semester, which would fuck my draft stock up, which is really just making me feel like they wanted me to stay through my senior year there. So I was a sophomore at the time. I was like, fuck this, and I literally like word got around that I was leaving the school. So a bunch of JUCO coaches, dude, are hitting me up on Facebook, bro.
Facebook days.
Messaging me. Yeah. So then I'm just said, I don't want to go to, I don't even care how good the school is. I know my boy just left Auburn for this JUCO in South Florida. He's my best friend, Garrett. So I like call him, like, bro, call your coach and see if he's got room for one more. And he's like, what are you talking about? So he calls his coach. He's like, hey, we got you a full ride. You need to get down here literally by tomorrow because it's like 2 days before you can like even, I was in drop back in classes when I went down there.
Wow.
So I waited till I drove from Charleston, packed all my shit up, said bye to the coach, like before I officially like disenrolled, and just got in my little Volkswagen and hauled ass that day, bro, all the way down. And I'd waited till I got past Jacksonville, my hometown, before I called my mom and dad and told them. So they couldn't stop me, bro. So I got past Jacksonville,
wow,
right through it.
Wow.
And then called them and told them I left the Citadel. And my dad didn't like talk to me for like a week after that, bro. He was so mad.
Really?
Yeah, they were really upset.
Now, were you at this point already an obvious pro?
Not to them. I just kind of realized, like, I mean, we had draft day or a little prospect day where MLB scouts came my freshman year, and I started touching 96, and I was at the time I was like 165 pounds.
Pretty
like,
firm.
Yeah. Yeah, it was me and actually Asher Wojciechowski. He was
cool.
The pitcher for the Orioles. Yeah, he was our Friday night guy, I was our Sunday guy.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. That's what's up. So what year was?
I kind of knew I had a chance to at least get drafted higher, go to any D1 I wanted to after 1 year in JUCO.
Right.
My parents just looked at the academic part. They didn't think that like even after JUCO that I was going to be like some major league baseball player making a living off of it. I mean, they weren't like denying it, but it wasn't like they weren't as sure about it as I was the whole time.
Right. No.
So they were really upset because I had a full ride at a school that was going to give me a degree to get me any job in the country.
It's interesting it's interesting looking back and at where our parents are coming from. Like their perspective's completely genuine and completely like it's actually substantial, you know, like from their era, from their perspective, from their scope. Like yes, like setting yourself up with a degree holds so much value for your overall life, and they kind of had they kind of could see from like outside of our bubble as a player and a kid where like baseball is everything, and they're like, oh wait, you know, like there's actually a good chance it won't be. So I understand that and I get it. At the same time, they're completely wrong. You know what I mean? Like times have changed. Like I actually, like I'm a very highly educated dude. I went to Duke and Georgetown and shit. I'm an advocate for not going to school unless you feel like you need to go learn something like a concerted, like you know what your path is and here's your best path. You know, like what I'm saying is like times change so fast. Where our parents are coming from is no longer relevant in that sense. Like, and it's crazy. None of us could really know, but like now, just going through a few different phases of life, I realized that
Yeah, and just the cost of tuition now compared to when they were coming up, like that's life change. I mean, that put you in a hole for years. You know what I mean?
years and years and years in this economy and like this job culture. And I truly think now most people, most companies, they're not hiring off degrees at all. They're hiring off specific skill sets and just basing it off that. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it can help maybe get you in the room still, but I really feel like now it's like if people are really dope at shit, they're like really figuring it out like 13, 14, 15 years old. They can start becoming really great at something, you know, and it could take them down their first path.
Yeah, there's coders that make great money that never step foot in a university, bro. You can learn to code and fucking
Dude, this fucking dude I know just got like a $250 million his company bought. You know what he does? He makes fucking memes. He's like one of the biggest memers, and he's in LA. And like
amazing.
like Jay-Z had a line like, you make memes, I make millions. Like even Jay-Z, just from 2 years ago when he said that, is wrong. My point is like I'm reading this book, the subtle art of not giving a fuck, and it's like we're constantly wrong. Like everyone wants to be right, and we're like so tied to being right about shit, like even right about the way you feel. But it's actually just like as you get older, you're just getting less and less wrong. You know, like things will constantly change. You'll never be exactly like all the shit and the vision you have for shit will never be right. You know, like it will just, the way he put it was like we're just less and less wrong. Some people are less wrong than others, you know, but it's like no one really has that like gauge on what's actually right, what's actually good for them, you know, in the long term.
That's why taking the positive of every single experience you have, bro, or taking that fall with like what that wound, you know, did for you, alters your whole career, like your life. Your life's like you said, it's like less being wrong each time.
Absolutely.
So I could take that negativity where I was wrong and been like, oh man, I need to stop this right here. That could take in your life to a total different path to where you're looking back and that road, you could have just taken the light out of it. Like, man, you know what that did for me? You know what that showed me? And then taking that, you know, that road to the left.
That's exactly how I fucking feel. I mean, I feel like everyone's life is kind of an example of that in their own way. You know, like there's a handful, obviously people that aren't exactly happy where they are, but like if you follow me on Instagram, it's like what I try to tell people, bro. Like I thought the worst day of my life was when I had Tommy John. It was the best day. Like, you know what? Like if I was your teammate in the Padres and I had 100 million guaranteed, I wouldn't trade. You know what I mean? Like I just know that I enjoy this more and like I'm happier, you know, like even though, you know, I could be more successful or, you know, potentially more successful in another realm, I just would never trade it. But like there's no possible way you can know that without going through the fucking mud. You know what I mean? And like that's kind of the point, you know, like what I try to share the most. It's just super hard. No one can really get themselves, not no one, but people have trouble getting themselves to truly believe that. So you could limit a lot of your suffering. You know what I mean? You can limit a lot of the pain if you can actually like in the moment, or at least in the time period, be like, you know what? I'm going to believe that this is for the better long term. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to.
Yeah. And then just getting that, I mean, I think the biggest turn of my mentality, like it was going through Tommy John surgery and the rehab coming back. And I took like a really long look at myself. I mean, I went like a 6-month detox, didn't have a sip of alcohol, like locked in, changed my whole diet, started like taking everything really serious. But then it was like the realization that like not even to be dark, but like no one gives a fuck, man. Like you're the only one that's got to give a fuck. no one really gives a fuck. Your mom is the only one, and she can't give you a job. She can't make you money.
She can't live your life for you.
Realize that no one gives a fuck, bro. And then you need to, that changes your everyday work, at least.
Dude, spot on. I just got this, my most recent tattoo. It's a skeleton. I could try to turn it's a skeleton holding up a sign that says, "Who cares?"
Yeah, dude, I saw that.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, I already just in 10, 14 days of having it, I've looked down at that like 3 or 4 different times and snapped out of what I was caring about. Like it might be the same book I'm reading, but they were talking about just like, dude, everyone's the center of their universe. Like from your perspective, behind your eyes, everything that's happening is about you. How is it impacting you? Like even when you're in fucking traffic, you're like, oh, fucking of course, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and if you realize, like, it's crazy, right? And it's great to know that, but also it's relieving because everyone else is the exact same. They're the center of their universe. They're not even fucking thinking about you. Like, you know what I mean? Like most people are really caught up about what people think about them, but most people are really more caught up in their own path and how their lives being affected. It's like crazy realization, crazy powerful realization. Like you said, like no one gives a fuck, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's between you and your path and decisions you make. But yeah.
We'll be right back with You Never Know, You Know What I Mean, right after this urination break. All right, let's cut the shit. John Kilmer here with a fantastic new product. Now, as you know, we like to get down here at the ranch. We do a little bit of partying, and in the mornings, we're a little hungover, we're a little dehydrated. And what has been helping us the most is our friends at Liquid IV. Now, as you can see, they have wonderful packaging, and they are a hydration multiplier. Liquid IV, the hydration multiplier. Now, one of these bad boys mixed into a bottle of water is equal to 2 to 3 bottles of water of hydration. Think about that for a second. I'm waking up constantly, hungover as balls, peeing bright orange. I gotta drink like a gallon of water to get back on track. With these bad boys, I'm feeling like $1 million after just mixing one of these packages right into a bottle of water. And that's not just all. They also have an energy multiplier as well. Again, same type of packaging. I use it before the gym. I use it if I need a little boost throughout the day. It's made with all just organic materials, matcha, ginger, just a lot of crap that's in there that's good for you. It's making you feel a lot better. We have a tremendous offer for you today. If you go to liquidiv.com and you use promo code YNK, you're getting 25% off your entire order. That's liquidiv.com. Use promo code YNK. You get 25% off your whole order. And the best thing about these guys is that you can get it at Target, you get it at Costco. We can't stress it enough how much it's helped us just get through some rough times, some rough benders. So make sure you go to liquidiv.com today, use promo code YNK and get 25% off your entire order. John Kilmer here with another fantastic new product. Now I'm sure you're seeing that there are a ton of CBD companies out there. It's hard to know which one to pick. But if you want the best of the best, you want to use the one that all the celebrities are using, including Papa Steve himself. You got to go with Lord Jones. We've been lucky enough to been using their products for a few months now. They have everything. They have body lotion, muscle rubs, gum drops. I'm a big fan of the CBD oil. I actually supplement it every single day. You hear guys like Joe Rogan talking about supplementing CBD every single day, and I'm just a huge advocate for that. I love it, and when I do it, I use Lord Jones. We have a really tremendous offer for you today. If you go to lordjones.com/YNK, you're going to get 25% off your first order. So use the CBD brand that all of us here at the ranch are using. lordjones.com/YNK for 25% off your first order.
I had no idea you had TJ. At what point in the career did you have TJ?
It was my second season with the Angels in the minor leagues. Yeah, popped on the mound, and it was like a 1.5 year recovery time. It wasn't like a good TJ recovery.
At least you came back. My shit bodied me. Put me in a body bag. Crazy. What I want to dive into this a little bit. You talk about it was your biggest struggle or one of your bigger struggles. What was the main where was the psyche at? Where there was doubt creeping in when you were just having trouble coming back?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was like, it felt foreign throwing a baseball, man, because I was always a position player, even in college, and a pitcher. So like, I became super like, I don't know, mechanical on the mound, and it was just looking like shit. I was throwing 90 miles an hour, but dude, at the time, like, dude, I was busting like a second bust of 360 at the time. I had like a 2-inch vert, like all this shit that should be translating to the mound. And on the mound, it looked like I was just a pitcher only that couldn't even move.
Wow.
And like at the time, I was like already, I was expected to make it to the big leagues. So I burned through my signing bonus like an idiot. I was a kid, from the hood that never had any money, bro. I never ever had money unless it was like money I shouldn't have had.
Yeah.
And then go out there and get a signing bonus, thinking I'm going to be in the big leagues in no time. So I'm throwing 99. And then, dude, I was just struggling on cash, and I couldn't work. A couple like months out of the year, I'm trying to train for baseball. They were just wearing on my parents to the point that like my mom like almost gave me the boot out the house. And that's when it was like that season was like when I have to lock this in. And just went out to Arizona. The Indians had me out there at that time. Just worked on mechanics day in and day out. Just, everything was baseball, everything was mechanics and working out. And then made the 40-man roster that off season.
Wow. Crazy. Few things I wanted to unpack in that. You just articulated exactly how I felt about it. I was a super athletic pitcher. For whatever reason, like when you find yourself out of the game and sitting there watching, then when you come back, it feels foreign. It feels, for the first time, something that was like innately natural was no longer natural. And like then another thing you said was like, oh, is that my best athleticism? Me too, bro. Like, because you couldn't pitch, so you were like, oh, let me get everything exact. Like, oh, I'm gonna be throwing hard. Like, dude, that was like the shock and the sadness of like, how the fuck am I worse now?
Worse.
Like realizing that it's a crazy like little mountain or a little ditch to dig yourself out of, because like you feel like you're a lesser version of yourself. You're like a lesser man.
Yeah, and I was at such an impressionable age at the time. Like, I mean, I was still figuring myself out, and I go from being like the dude to like not only not being the dude, but getting my tits licked every time I get on the rubber, bro. And I've never in my life ever had that. Like growing up, it was always
Nobody
like,
hit you,
bro,
right?
I might have had a kind of bad game here or there, but dude, I've never been just smacked. And it was like going to the field knowing I'm about to get like hit. I've never felt that before. And that was from the depths of like,
now
really
growing up,
thinking about it.
I want to go back growing up real quick. So you were always just a baller, like no one could fuck with you when you were as a baseball player, just overall. Like, were you the man in your town and where you were at?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of dudes. We had a lot of really good baseball players in Jacksonville. But yeah, I was always like, I mean,
You were one of the dudes.
a dude. I was always up in every category of hitting, pitching,
So
everything.
did it translate? Did that translate to how you were acting off the field? Were you just kind of like, you said, at the high school you were like kind of just partying, going off the rails?
Well, dude, I mean, my first 2 years of high school, I went to this like school you got to get like accepted into. It's like this academic school, not like a private school. It's like a nerd school, and like I'm a huge nerd at heart, and still am. But like it was baseball, the sports, the basketball was terrible there, and then I ended up transferring to the public school. I had a good baseball team, and actually was kind of like picking which school I wanted to go to, and it was college at that point. So I just started throwing hard, going into my sophomore year of high school.
Right.
And then I get over there, and it's just like a public school where they don't check on you. Or at the time, they didn't call your house if you were in class. They didn't do,
Right.
So I'll just go over to my boy's house when his parents were gone, and we'd just, sit there and just hang out. We go play basketball during the day, and just get into a lot of trouble all the time. Kind of not any serious trouble, just
fucking shit that you do when you're a
teenage
kid.
angst, bro.
Exactly, teenage angst. And you said in the hood, we're a Florida boy through and through, right? Jacksonville was where you were born.
Yeah.
And what just kind of, I want to just kind of like when you think back to that time, where you kind of, was it a family thing where you just kind of were getting by and like that was kind of your perspective on life? Like if you could put yourself back at that time, I remember you talked about, when I talked to you on the phone the first time, you were kind of talking about where you're from and how it made you a certain way.
Yeah.
I like to know a little bit about that because I think a lot of those years are like, it's what makes dogs dogs. It's like what makes athlete like a lot of superstar athletes. They're formed in those years. Like, yes, the work needs to, you need to grow into your body and the work needs to be done, but like that mentality, that dog mentality that like you need to be a professional athlete is formed in these times. And I'm always interested in this. You talked about kind of being in the hood or just kind of where like, can you bring me back to what it was like, what your perspective was?
Yeah, I mean, when we first we moved from kind of like away, we were kind of away from people. Lived in like the west side of Jacksonville, and then I was about 13, and we moved into Riverside. And like I'm used to going like skateboarding from basketball court to basketball court when I wasn't skateboarding, just playing pickup games. That's like what my life was just like swishers and pickup basketball, bro. Like,
yeah.
And then we go to skate up to the park right by the house we just moved into. I mean, I knew where I was in Jacksonville, but still, like at the time I'm a kid. I'm thinking no one's gonna, fuck. I'm just some poor white kid skateboarding up there trying to play basketball. No one's gonna fuck with me. Mm-hmm. And I end up going and playing. They were playing a pickup game, and they let me play. And dude, it was literally almost like literally fouling the shit out of me. Sitting there, they kept talking shit, and I see them keep whispering, blah blah blah. But then I start playing, and I can hoop.
Yeah.
I can super hoop.
I can see it.
So like
I can see it.
It ended up doing really well. And then after the game, like they're laughing and joking, they're talking to me, and they asked me like, why I'm over here. And I was like, no, I live right down the street. And then they're like, we're about to just play for a few minutes and beat the shit out of you and take everything you had. And I was like, what? And they're like, we're not playing. And they're like, do you live here now? And I was like, yeah. And then they're like, all right, we got White Mike. And that's when that whole thing started with all the kids. I was the only white kid in the whole like, or at least that whole section of the Riverside.
Dude, there's a lot of
grew up like slap. Oh god.
Yeah.
Just those boys like that. The games they played were like, besides basketball, was like slap boxing, not the way you'd slap box like at school. No, it was like trying to knock each other, like slap the shit out of each other. And then this game called whoever would just line up like Oklahoma drill. And it wasn't tackling; it was whoever could get the other one's feet up and put them on the ground.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of So I think this kind of molded me into the athlete I was, because I mean, it was nothing but that every single day.
It's like it's a high level of competition. You're like it's essentially not for survival in the purest form of the word, but survival amongst the like being in that neighborhood and people not fucking with you. You know what I mean, dude? It's crazy how many. I try to look for my boy Blue because, bro, you're a lot of similarities. I mean, very blue collar raised, but like got kicked out of middle school for fighting. Where I went to like predominantly white, but just kind of like middle blue collar level, right? Get kicked out of there. I just couldn't stop. I was getting a bunch of rumbles, and then I ended up going across the city to like, it was more like, I would say there's maybe 5 or 10% white kids at the middle school I was at, and that's where, bro, I learned all the same. Like I was a hooper, and slap boxing in high school, middle school and high school. I want to say maybe 50% of the fights that I got into started as slap boxing. And people just hit too hard and you get mad, you know how
someone goes with closed fists on the side.
Yeah, the girls come in and you realize he's swinging harder now, and you're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Crazy, man. Crazy. So let's get back to the storyline here. You I think at the top of where you were talking about TJ. Now, what point does the switch go off and you're talking about kind of the change in your mentality? I think you were talking about you were a second year at the Indians, or what year were you when you were kind of going?
When the mentality hit in was probably Tommy John rehab. Is this when I really started like working I wasn't just relying on talent. I wasn't just relying on natural ability anymore, and really started diving into like what I was doing, even though if I was like I didn't really know exactly what I was doing, but I was working my ass off. Changed my diet, changed my lifestyle. Like
down goes the
That's when I came back and was throwing like 90, getting smacked. That's when it was like all this work, changing everything, and now I'm even worse. And then getting into that next offseason, got traded at the end of that year. I came back from Tommy John to the Indians. And that's when I came home, had all that beef at home. So then I had to go out. I went out to Arizona, and the Indians flew me out there for like instructional league. And that's when we spent just hours on hours. Just get my mechanics back, and then went into that season. We made the 40-man roster.
So at this point, You're how old?
After 23.
So you're 23. You said you pissed away your signing bonus because you're like, the money's never going to stop. Your mom's
Yeah.
borderline kicking you out, and you're at an instructional league coming back off Tommy John and don't feel like yourself anymore. That's a crazy position to be in now, especially looking at where you're at now and what's going on.
Yeah, my mom's like talking to me about going back to school, like, and I need to like figure something out soon. And that's when I was winning that season, kind of almost knowing that like either I want to be for real couch surfing after the season if I don't make it, or I got to get a job or go back to school.
Yeah. What did you when you were spending your money in that at that time? What were you spending on? Just convenience and
I got
luxury.
a big truck. Dude, I just turned 21, man. So I was just I was just raging, bro. It was not.
Yeah.
I mean, it handed me just a bunch of money, and I got away from home, and I had my truck, and I was like with the boys, and I went to military college, so I didn't really get to do the college thing. So then I was just like, college now.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so now, I mean, we could jump past some of the more baseball stuff, but where I wanted to get into is like from that point, right? You're what, 20? You said you were 23 or 24.
Yeah, 24 is when I like made the 40-man roster. Finished the year in AAA through their 2 playoff games in AAA with them, and then rolled into the next year was when I was on the roster, first big league camp 2016, and that's when I get called up and we go to the World Series.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy swing of events, sir.
Yeah, dude, from couch surfing to World Series in 8 months or something like that, 9 months.
Where did you where in this journey, I'd imagine it's around the time where you kind of went through your hardships, did you become more kind of spiritually inclined? Because I see you with the Wayne Dyer quotes, I love to see it, because as I've become more spiritual and I look back at my time as an athlete, like I was I was younger, but I wasn't like, I wish I was like playing, well, or at least when I was playing, like my mental and my spirit, like I was kind of more in tune with like the world and the kind of spirituality of just like being alive and being grateful and not taking things for granted, and like, you know what I mean? That there's and I envy you for that, and I see that, and I want that for more. I want that for more athletes. Like I think it breeds a certain like, oh, don't be a hippie, bro. Let's go fucking work out. You know what I mean? Like there's a jock element to it, and it's not a blanket statement, but there's just, it makes you in a box in a certain way of like you're living in a very, very, and it's okay. You have to live in a bubble to be great. You know what I mean? To dedicate yourself to something, but like putting yourself in the box overall in life, like I think they go hand in hand with being a great athlete a lot of the time. Like people are, it's just kind of their worldview and how they're kind of perceiving things. And I see you as a guy who's kind of realizes it's bigger than a game. Like life is bigger than a game. And it's cool to kind of see you, like you're posting baseball highlights with a Wayne Dyer quote. And I think that's really fucking dope. But I want to know like where along the line, what you can credit it to, and where along the line that started to become a thing for you or something you were connected to.
I think my whole life I've always been, me and my buddies, like we've always like nerded out on stuff like, the afterlife and consciousness expansion, simulation stuff from like, the OG days of YouTube, bro. Like, God, I'm trying to remember just following any Harvard professor that was doing any kind of experiment, whether it was with DMT, ayahuasca, like, really diving heavy into that stuff. But I was always still, as much as I disagree with conformists, I was still growing as a kid, and like there's certain environments you get into, and like whether it's because you want to, you like this chick, you want her to like you want to fit in with that crowd you're with, and all of a sudden you're like, look back and you're molding yourself more around those people, even though internally when you got home or you got to yourself, you got to your own hotel bed or whatever it was, you were you, and you were like, even though you were expressing that, you were still dressing kind of like them, talking like them. And that's when I was like,
great fucking point.
Just the older I got, the more I got to know myself, and the more I got to be able to express who I was because I knew who I was. And I really kind of had a deep dive into myself. I have a lot of self-reflection I do that often, and it's not always good. It's not always,
But it can't always be good for like, for the, if you really, really are truly like, most people think like they try to even, they can trick themselves that their awareness, their self-awareness is good. Like but really, like if you really kind of back to the point of like, you're never right. Everyone kind of thinks they're right about everything. But if you're like able to constantly look back at your week, like I just started trying to do this, like actually like assess the things that went wrong and like take ownership for it, but don't blame yourself. And then you just move on and you take that, it's like experiential wisdom, I call it, where it's like, you go through it and like you don't run it. Most people just never face that. I never did. Like I didn't even, I mean, you're light years ahead of like just hearing what you were just saying about a kid. Like I was such a New England, like, like I was a nice kid, but like if you said a fucking thing, I'd try to fight you. Just my ego of like, what? You know what I mean? Like I'm the best baseball. Like that's all it was about. It's just like working out, or not even working out, but like just competing and playing everyone and being the best at it. And then like even school, like, yeah, you could say I definitely fit in the dork category, like that when I got older and I realized that. But like my ego was even in the way of wanting to learn. I was like, dude, I'm not even trying to be like, I'm gonna be a baseball player, But like now I spend most of my downtime. I'm a fucking musician and rap, and people think all I do is party. Like I spend a lot of my time reflecting, working on, these types of things, because I felt like I had once the switch went off, I realized how much lost time I had of like kind of just looking at it very, very in a very narrow way,
I hate that perception of like, because you do even show that you party, like I get the same kind of perception, like, oh, I hear he parties, and what are you doing except to celebrate and have memories with the people that you love and care about, man? That. Like what else, what is the point? What's the point of that paper in your wallet, bro, if you're not gonna go like share an experience with somebody? How like what is the point of this whole fucking get up we're doing, bro, to just fucking build this empire that you just die on top of? Like, and
you work like, dude, that's
I work like a dog to fucking play like a dog, man. That's
exactly
like the point.
Exactly. And most people in the current model that people are expecting and have accepted as what's the norm, like even the businessmen, the entrepreneurs, like the people I'm around or whatever, like athletes especially, right? And the fans and what they think how the athlete should act, like in the current model, in my opinion, again, is wrong. It's just like, you spend the entire prime of your life, the most formative years of your life, like nose down working to build something. And you might acquire this unbelievable wealth. And like, bro, by the time it's time for you to retire and enjoy it, you don't have the energy to do it. Yeah. You don't fucking want to go anywhere. You don't want
laying down somewhere.
You don't want to learn anything new. You know what I mean? Like when you're fucking 60, you're not like, oh man, I always wanted to go to France and learn how to, like, you know what I mean? They're just like, fuck, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? Like I got grandkids, like I'll just hang out with them and sit around. So like, this is what I try to do. Like
breed a whole nother culture of kids getting handed money they didn't have to work for. And they never break that asshole phase because they never have to really self-reflect.
Which is a horse. Like, you're spot on, bro. We see things very, very similarly. It's I see a lot of those kids. I live around a lot of those kids. Like LA is filled with like actors, kids, and whatever, like legendary people. Their kids all obviously grow up in this area because their parents had to be here for work, and you see it, and it's like I don't even know, no matter how much money I have, like I definitely will never, I'll be unbelievably generous and give them the things they need and spoil, but like I would never hand over a fortune to kid, I think that robs you of a purpose. Like you're just like, wait, I already got access to everything. Like there's a certain feeling when you knew you actually built it from nothing and you created something. Like you created this. You can look at it from a bunch of different perspectives, but like you created this version of this human you are now, but I see a lot of these kids and I feel like they know they haven't like made any, even just the person they are, like fuck the money or whatever, just like the person they look at the mirror, like they're not they haven't really done anything to like create that person yet. You know, it's all.
That's what I think a problem with a lot of, like, especially that age range. They're so against anyone having change just because it's different, and their way of difference, like different than their way of different, and they don't like to see you change. I think it holds a lot of people. I mean, it's people holding other people down, and it's just that vicious cycle of that I don't like that you're wearing that right now. But this is some kid that maybe wants to get into fashion, but is frowned upon because he's a male, and he could be a straight male and doesn't want to have these weird mixed feelings. All these kids, I don't know. Just you have these stories all the time. These kids with potential that
absolutely,
it ends really dark, bro.
Absolutely. You're an in tune guy, my dog. You're an in tune guy. I fucking love to see it.
Dude, I try.
I love to see it. What tell me about the culture in the locker room right now. You guys are just having a blast. Did I read the text right? You guys chug beers after wins? I fucking love it.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be.
God, I don't know the name of the song. It's this Latin song. It's but the chorus always goes bang bang. So everyone goes bang bang, but on the third go around it doesn't do it. So I guess it usually gets somebody, and they'll still be like bang bang. But now they do. I guess the player of the game, he gets to scream the bang bang when there's not one, and then everyone just sprays their beer in the air and drinks it. And
love that.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Really love that. That's dope. So you feel like you have like a bunch of new buddies over there?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's been very seamless. I mean, it was weird, obviously, the first couple of days because I just show up here, then I'm on a team bus, and then I'm at the field and I'm pitching the day after that, and it was just like kind of I'm gonna keep to myself till I get on the mound real quick. So that first game with them felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. So it was like everyone's expecting like this better be a World Series arm right the fuck now.
Yeah, because you're coming in as like an ace. Correct? Like that's kind of the
yeah.
That was.
I'd like to think so. I hope
no,
so.
but I mean, even just the way it's framed as like the way the trade was framed, like, oh, it's a number one arm, like this is our number one arm, So you feel that, you feel that pressure of that. That's great. That's dope to hear you say you experienced that. Now you pitched well, didn't you? You lost, but you pitched well.
It was a battle, yeah.
And then you got your first win last week or this week.
Yeah, bro. He got the first win, and then Tony Hawk sent me a skateboard as a gift.
I was gonna get into this. What the fuck is going on with Tony Hawk?
Yeah, dude. It's been the coolest thing of my whole entire life, bro.
What the fuck is going on?
I posted a tweet, like public service announcement. Tony Hawk Pro Skaters re-release comes out today, because I was stoked for it. He somehow got word of that through some Activision guys on Twitter. And he reached out to the Padres and they're like, yo, he used to skateboard. Like, that was like what he thought he was going to be doing. Like, my freshman year of high school, bro, I was like, skate or die. Like, I was going to be a pro skateboarder. And then baseball was a fallback plan, dead serious.
Crazy.
Until I hit this growth spurt in the sophomore year. And then my feet were size 14 at that point. I was 6'4", and like gangly. I was like, this shit ain't going to work.
Yeah.
So then I really concentrated on baseball and basketball. But yeah, he found out and then sent me a board. So I had to hit him with the 360 flip and send him a video back. He was like,
wild. That's like an actually like super epic little friend to have, like a guy to have on a text. Tony Hawk, like he's like a certain level of legendary that it's like it.
Yeah, I was telling everybody, I was like, I peaked too soon with my rival in San Diego.
Yeah, like you're good to retire now. Like imagine, guys, I'm done.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, yo, if I throw a no-hitter and we win the World Series, I'm retiring after this.
Like,
I just officially done it. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm happy for you. I'm happy we got linked up. It's been dope to watch and dope to see it. Like you're coming into amazing. I think you know that you're coming into an amazing phase of your life. Now perspective wise, I know you're tuned in. Are you just like a super grateful dude right now at your level of happiness? Where are you at? What does it feel like?
Yeah, I mean, I would say without having to like consciously think of that, like it's just
right.
I have as many problems as anybody out there in my life, like off the field, like whether it's family stuff. My dad's going through a lot right now. Dude, I got a baby mama. I got 2 kids that I love and miss dearly all the time. So it's always I think I'm grateful because I'm happy every day. I'm still happy every day. I'm still doing my best to be the best me, and it's kind of over living up to someone else's expectation of the best me, man.
Yeah.
Like it's overdoing that. Like I'm gonna do the best I fucking can while my feet are on this earth, bro. And the best I can do for my daughters.
Love that.
And if it's not good enough for you, man, then you can fuck right off. Like
there's what you just said is incredible. That's something that a lot of people don't achieve until it's too late. They're a lot older. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's great. It's great you're realizing that now. I mean, I feel like I'm going through that process. I've just kind of gone over that bridge too, and it's a crazy level of peace. It's kind of what I'm getting at. Like when you have
Yeah, and
a
it's not always there. You're still gonna search and find it. It's not always just gonna be there. It's not always just staying in that constant. There's gonna be times if you don't have self-doubt, dude, then you have too much ego anyway. So you gotta have that. It's all about
spot
balance.
on, spot on. And another thing to take away about it is no matter what, it's a yin and a yang. So like your career, your all this shit, all the gifts you've had, more or less you earned a lot. You've earned a lot of it, but you're gifted. You're a gifted fucking guy. So there's a yin and yang to that. You know what I mean? And you're gonna have, and that's kind of what I feel like I'm learning or try to share with with kids that listen to me is like, dude, no matter what's going on, it's never gonna be perfect. But it's about just having this feeling of like, yo, man, it could be way worse. It could be way fucking worse. So if you have,
You're just more focused on just making the best you that you feel like you could be, and it's true that you're actually trying to do that. I think it gives you that little bit of inner peace because a lot of people are going to try to bring you down and tell you you're not good. Tell you you're not a good person. Tell you this.
Yeah.
Every day of the week. Just as many people are going to tell you they love you, and it could be artificial. So it's still finding that center trueness about yourself, and at least striving to have
for
that.
sure. How is it being a dad?
It was amazing. They're like their own people now. They're 3 and 4. So like, it's crazy now. Like,
I mean, like this version of me, like I can't wait to have fucking kids. I'm going to wait for a while, because I'm very like I feel like my lifestyle is very very immature, but hearing how you kind of looking at life in general, I'm so curious to see how it feels to have a kid and like just how much that level of like connection and even just if you're a spiritual person and like how fucking absolutely absurd it is that like you created something like that.
that's what makes you actually feel true love for the first time in your life. And I mean, I don't know how many times you thought you felt it. And sometimes, I mean, that's an amazing thing, but that's also, makes you really self-reflect on if you are loving what you're doing and loving, like you felt true love. You can look at your kid and it's really like it's innate in your fucking DNA to love that thing. And then you start questioning if you're really loving the stuff you're doing or the people you're around.
Wow. Crazy. I mean, I just think no matter what, it will never be matched. Like you can't love your wife like you love your kids. It's different. It's like, like that connection, like the connection as you get older. How's your connection with your parents now?
I mean, it's solid. I mean, my dad's he's just got diagnosed with Parkinson's last year. So he's kind of, he's doing good. He's doing good.
Sheesh. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
We work through it, sir. We work through it. These are the things that the curveballs life throws all day. Where are you? In a hotel room? Where you at?
Yeah, I'm in my own little bubble now because of quarantine.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. So you're gonna be in there what? 14 days or how long?
Well, no. This is just for until we get these test results back. We had to do the drive-in test.
Oh, you don't get immediate ones.
No, I did when I got traded over here, but we still did a spit test today. I don't know why.
Interesting.
We did a spit test, but we should find out if there's a game tomorrow or doubleheader Sunday.
Yeah. Have you had times where you felt sick at all or no? Any times where you're like,
I mean, I think I had it in February. I think I had it like way before it was like Corona, like before people really like knowing about it, because no one's really super taking it serious over here. And I was like kind of going out in Scottsdale here or there during spring training, and then like there's people getting it all over left and right. In Scottsdale, I had to shut one place down, and I was just literally felt like I was dying, but for like 36 hours, and that was completely normal. Like it didn't even last 2 days, and I was like just absolutely normal.
Might have been. I'm pretty sure something like that happened. I haven't felt since it's been a thing. I've fucking felt like $1 million, but there's just off pure numbers. Like I've been around a handful, like just off pure numbers. I feel like at some point I've had to encountered it, So it's like whatever, Fuck. Pray for the world, sir. Pray for the world. What is it like? Where are you? You said you're in Scottsdale. You're not in Scottsdale now.
No. I'm in San Diego.
Yeah.
Dude, that's where I thought I got it was from
right.
Scottsdale.
We're gonna. So right before you go, we're about to leave LA, bro.
Go where?
We're gonna take I think I'm gonna land in Nashville, but I want to go on like a road trip and just like live life a little bit and like rent cribs, live in places for like 2-3 months, create. We're gonna do a ton of content, shoot a bunch of videos, and like LA,
I'm gonna hitchhike that bus after season,
bro. Come link up for sure.
Dude, I will.
Come link up. I appreciate you, bro.
They're talking about putting a baseball team in Nashville, by the way.
Wow, fire! That'd be amazing.
Justin Timberlake's on the top of that board.
I've heard about this. I've heard rumblings about this. So it would be a Nashville team. Woo! We love that.
That'd be a good spot for
We love that. Hell yeah! I think I'm gonna land there. I think we'll probably won't move there. I might have to end up building. So it'll probably be a year or so. But I think we're gonna like Scottsdale. We're going there first. I'm doing some shit with Johnny Manziel, who lives there. Johnny's on a great wave. I've been talking with him, and he has a crazy kind of perspective of shit to share. He's kind of ready to share it and like close the book on football.
Totally. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to we're launching a podcast called Ball Don't Lie. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
hard, right? So yeah, I'll be in Scottsdale. So hopefully, I don't even know how the schedules will work out, but hopefully we can get together.
Yeah, we'll figure
Either
it out,
way,
bro.
we'll link up, my dog.
Well, thanks for having me, bro.
Wish I could pass you the wood through the screen, but we'll save that for another time. My dog, I appreciate you, man. Chug buds. If I don't get a video of a chug bud, I'm gonna be pissed of the team rocking a chug bud.
No, I got you. We're gonna team one right in the logo right after.
All right, dope. I appreciate you, man. Good luck.
All right, see you
later.
Bye.